Thanks, John. Some really good stuff there for you all to take away. So as it says up there, who am I? Why am I here? So today I'm here to represent, following on from John, I'm the current president for LTE Tag. And I think that's something that we're trying to do as part of the this year's presidential theme. Now, every year, LTE Tag have a presidential theme. And we came up with a really, really good one about 10 months ago, about 6 months before this planning event. But because we're so aligned to the way that the industry is going, our theme for the year is collaborative research, from research to reality. Now, if you look on these, there's a bit of a theme going on there, so it's really good that we're here today and working with Neil. Really proud to be here and show that we're not precious about what we do. The thing that we all need to do is to work together, to collaborate, because without that, we're not going to do things differently. Now, you're thinking, this guy's mad, he's got a picture of an elephant. Why? Well, we could think that there's an elephant under there, but there's not. Looks like one from here, but it's very well trained and it's been sat there for 14 hours. What are we trying to achieve? What we're trying to achieve as an industry. There's so many things that we're trying to achieve, and it's the old adage, how do you eat an elephant? Start with the toenails, start chewing the toenails and start working your way up. And if we all chew a toenail together, collaboratively, we'll be able to move forward and take some of those mad ideas, not just of an elephant with pink toenails on a presentation on a beautiful day like this, not listening to the elephant in the room, which is the vehicles over there, but getting us where we need to be, where companies like Meon are able to work with the private sector, the local highway authorities, the airports, the ports and everybody else to move things forward. So that's why we've got an elephant with pink toenails. I'm not mad, honestly. So why am I here? As I said, the theme, and apologies that I wasn't aware that we've got such a vast expanse, but these slides will be made available later anyway, won't they, Neil? Yeah. So I'll read that, paraphrase it. I'm not going to read it word for word, because I remember years ago when someone said, if you're going to do a presentation, whatever you do, Rooney, don't read the slides. Let them do it, because otherwise they'll fall asleep. So if you can read it, good. Just as a matter of interest, on the back row, can you see any of it? Ish. Okay, so Specsavers is down the road. They've got a 10% deal on at the minute, so if you want to go down there, you'll be fine. So the theme, as I said, collaborative research from research to reality. It means that we need to take that theory into practice. It means that we're going to unveil the pet elephant under here later on, but we won't mark that through any further forward. There are a lot of rapid technical advancements, and again, John touched on it. We do a lot to appease our customers, whether they're customers as in clients, or for John and I, our customers are people like you in your private life. You're member of the public, the Mr. and Mrs. Miggins of the world. And we need to basically take the research, because that gives us the opportunity to make informed decisions. Because as you guys know as much as we do, we've got to make the best of our resources. And sometimes we'd love to say to you guys, yeah, we're going to have loads and loads of money, you're going to have loads and loads of program to work with, but that's not necessarily the case. So we need to make the most of what we've got. And that means doing something with materials, processes, products, or just different ideas. We need to do it collectively. We're a sector, despite it being so big, that it sustains millions of pounds worth of GDP, it employs loads and loads of people, but we often don't do enough together. Events such as this today is really, really good, because you've caught up with a mate that you haven't seen for 6 months, but then you won't see him again for 6 months. But what I'm trying to do this year in terms of the collaborative research side of things is force some of those conversations and give you guys the opportunity to get involved in things about research. Get involved with the work that Meon want to do, that I want to do with LTE Tag. We got reps from Elcrick. A number of you will be members of Elcrick, so big shout out to Elcrick as well. Keely's there as well. So we're all facing challenges. It's crucial. And I know I keep harping on about this, but it is important. It's important by the theme of today. And I've just realised I'm giving that cameraman an absolute nightmare because he's having to follow me around. So anyway, never talk to the camera either, but I've just broken that rule as well. If we don't foster that culture of collaboration, we're not going to move forward. We'd still be walking with the red flag in front of the cars. We'd still be getting the Stephenson's rocket and things such as that. Without that collaboration, without that view, that aspiration of innovation, of doing things different, it's finding those people that take that leap of faith. And that's what we all need to get involved in. That's why you're here today, not just for the free sandwiches and bacon butters and what have you, or the experience around with the caterer. It's for you to learn, but also to pass your learning on. And again, I'm here, I forgot to say, my full-time job is Oxfordshire County Council. So I've got experience as a head of service in maintenance, but I am mainly here today for the LTE Tag side of things. So, our focus for the coming year, and I want you all to be involved. I'll name drop LTE Tag webpage, have a look at it. Come and have a chat with me if you want, come and have a chat with John, he's an ex-president. I'm only here till lunchtime, so apologies, but please feel free if you want to get involved, if you want to get involved in any kind of research project, because I also sit on the council of IHE, Institute of Highways Engineers, and I managed to get a small grant. It's only 20k, but for somebody, whether it be an SME or an individual, to actually make an application to do some research this year. So there's 20 grand on the table as well. Again, not a loads of money, but if you've got an apprentice, if you've got a graduate that wants to get involved in something, we've got an opportunity to do that. So watch the space on this one. So we do need to strengthen the ties between researchers, because academics do a lot of stuff. Academics do a lot of stuff that they want to do that doesn't necessarily make any difference at all to what we do. You know, they want to, let's create a new badger set under the A43. We don't need that. We need the surfacing, we need the lining, we need the safety for the A43. So we started to speak to academics so that we can actually get them to do what we need, not what they think. And the other side to that as well is, and apologies Meon, but not just Meon, salespeople try and sell to us, to John, myself, to other local authorities, this is what we think you need. So if we tie it all together, we can actually get that product, we can actually get that process in terms of what we actually want to do. I best hurry up. So, how are we going to do it? Whoa. I like this, so I'm going to read this one. Let us remember that the strength of any organisation lies in the collective expertise and shared commitment. So instead of me waffling on for the last 5 minutes, I could have just read that, because that's what we all need to do. We need to pledge to work together. I know there's a bit of a theme, but there is a theme. It's that collaboration. That's what it's all about. It's about doing things together. It's about doing things differently. It's about opening your mind to new experiences. Have a go in the caterer. So what if you throw up afterwards? You can say, you can go home, so I went round a track with caterer and it was bloody brilliant. So, as part of this year and the ongoing legacy, what we're trying to do through TAG is that we will build up those case studies so that SMEs, local authorities, other businesses will be able to say, that's a really good idea. Has anyone done that before? And if they have, then we'll generate a case study for it. Because, again, I'm speaking from a local authority perspective, and it's a bugger's muddle for me to try and get approval from elected members sometimes. Say, well, I want to spend, X tens of thousands on this. Well, has anyone done it before? No. Well, you can't have it. And if you say, well, yes, they have, and I say, it must be fine then. So it's building up those case studies so we can feed into that support for budgets in the future. And why am I saying that? Because if I get a budget to spend, it means you get a budget to have a revenue, to have an income, And let's not be, commerciality and profit isn't a dirty word. Some local authority colleagues may think so, but it's not, because without you guys, without local authorities, without the private sector, none of us would be here today. Anyway, we need to provide that platform for mutual learning, and let's keep that dialogue together. It's there again, collaboration. Working with other sector groups and organisations, shared learning, shared failure. I want to touch on that because, again, I said before, I'm not mad. Honestly, I'm not mad. We should fail, because if we don't fail, unless you're really, really, really good and get it perfect every time, which, come on guys, I doubt that's happened. Very rare. But if you're going to fail fast and learn from it and move on. So I think one of the things that we need to do, again from a local authority and a client perspective, is to become less risk averse. Because if we as clients say, no, we can't do that because we can't afford to fail, we can't afford to do it, we want you to take all the risk. If you do that, it's going to cost me twice as much because you're going to build that risk in. But if we do it collaboratively and we research it together and we talk about exactly what we want, then that cost benefit can be fed back into the products and new processes and people's wages and revenues. So it does, it's not me that's just come up with that. If you Google fail fast, learn fast, what have you, there's whole papers about it and cleverer people than I. But go back to your clients and say, look, ROONEY, as the president of the well-renowned, great reputation representing local authorities, has told me it's okay to fail. Well, it is. How does a kid ride a bike? They fall off, but they get back on it, and they keep doing it until they get it perfectly. And again, I touched on this before, move towards what the sector actually needs, not what. And again, only because he's here, Neil and Russell tell you what we want. That may be the case, it may not be. But we need to work together to actually come up with that product that we all need. And I know that's repetitive, but again, a wise man once told me, it takes 7 times to tell somebody something before it sinks in. So I can't remember how many times I've said collaboration, so I'm going to say it another 5 times just in case. Collaboration, 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 collaboration. And one more time together. God, you're useless. Never go to a pantomime, do you? I know it's not pantomime season, but bloody hell, you got a clown up here. Anyway, research. Make sure it's relevant. Influencing and working with academics. I'm already in conversation with a number of universities and they are mad keen. They've got money coming out of their ears. They can reach a different set of funding than we can as either a private sector or a local authority. So they're very keen to work with us and they're essential to this research to reality, that collaborative research, that theme that we will do. So we will build upon that. Transform that theory into practical solutions. I want to create an elephant that does road markings. Somebody in Meon thought about that and it's here today. You'll see it later. Make sure our policies and practice are grounded upon latest scientific findings. Well, what does that mean? Let's base it on something that we know is going to work. That it's tried and tested, it's been developed, and we've got funding to do that. Because otherwise, again, from a client perspective, a local authority perspective, we all love a policy. They're the bane of our lives, but they can also get us out of some tricky situations as well. So we need to make sure that we get the policies right. The legacy. So, legacy of what I want to do. Strengthen the links, strengthen academics, strengthen awareness. We'll build that library of case studies. And please feel free to, like I said, work with LG Tag to put some of those case studies and we'll build that library that we will share. We will share it with the industry, we will share it with other bodies, we'll share it with the likes of LCRIG, with the IHE, with CIHT, and other associations that are represented here today. In simple terms, and this is the polite way of doing it, it's a directory of who's who in the highways research world. I also described it recently as Tinder for highways research. Because some young person told me about Tinder, and apparently you swipe left or you swipe right. I don't know. I've been happily married for 32 years next week. But you can pick and choose. Well, that sounds a really good one. He's got all the profile that I need. You know, they've done a bit of research on this, so I'm gonna, tick that, and we'll have a chat with him. That's what we want to do. So the Tinder of highways research. If you want to quote that, fine, but it sticks in your mind. This is why I come up with these little anecdotes. This is why I can never do what John does and what other people do and read notes, because my head doesn't work like that. But if I say mad things like that, you might just remember that fool who's the president of LG-TAG, the prestigious technical organisation that represents local authorities and businesses across the UK, is human as well. You know. I also want to raise the profile of LG-TAG because, again, right, I'm going to give you a clue. You're going to get interactive in a second, right? So just bearing in mind, wake up and get a bit of space. How many of you have heard of LG-TAG? That's brilliant. We're going to come back next year, and if all the stand doesn't put their hand up, Russell, will I be having words? I will have failed. My legacy will have failed. So again, I'm here today, John's here today, two presidents of someone you've never heard of, and you're thinking, well, why the bloody hell are they here? Because we want to collaborate, because we want to take it from research to reality. And that's about LG-TAG. So if you don't know about it, when you get these slides, have a read of it. Have a look at the web page. You know, there is a link there. Learn about it. We've been going for 25 years. And again, I've got to be very careful how I say this. You can read it hopefully from the back. ROONEY's R's. So it's plural of R. It's not my backside. Review, reinvigorate, relaunch. It's the same as everything that we do. If we just carry on doing, going back to what John was saying, if we carry on doing everything that we've done for years and years, we'll just carry on getting the same process. We'll be on the steam train, the rocket, etc., etc., etc. We need to refresh ideas. Just because you've been doing something for the last 25 years, it doesn't mean it's the right way. You know, because otherwise we just become boring old farts. We need to encourage young professionals. The theme for LG-TAG last year was around about skills. It's around about people. Find them, train them, keep them. You know, you look around yourselves. Just, again, you're going to get interactive. Look to your left, look to your right, look behind you. How many youngsters do you see? How many females, how many women colleagues are here? How many people of diverse backgrounds are here? We need to encourage young professionals to take over from when grey-haired filing cabinets and old farts like me leave. And we need to strengthen the position of LG-TAG. So that's what we are, that's my legacy. Hopefully you'll have remembered the word collaboration. You'll take away the fact that you need to get from research to reality, we need to research the right thing. And you'll take away that if you're not already a member of LG-TAG, you'll be in touch with our secretary and join. So it is a bit of a plug, I know, but you know, there is a cost to everything. And that's who we are. But remember this, and again, another mad world of the nature side. An ant on its own is so insignificant. How many of you just, when you see it, walking across the kitchen worktop, think, oh bugger, we've got ants again. And you squash it, and then another one, and then you go to Tesco's and get the ant powder. But together, you might not see that, and you think, well, what is it? You've got a leaf on that side, and you've got another leaf on that side. And it's a bit like me trying to do long jump or jump over the canal. You can't do it on your own, but together, you can. You support each other, you build bridges together, and you move forward. So, we are not alone. I think it was, what was it? Close Encounters of the Third Kind? Whatever. Some kind of supernatural film. But we are not alone. We have strength in numbers. Let's become that colony of experts. Collaborating. It's there again. Overcoming problems. Everything is possible. Anything is possible. But some things might just take a little bit longer. So, thank you. I'm now going to hand over to someone who is going to show you a picture of a snake a banana, and a shovel.